This is a Jeep XJ steering shaft, and what we're going to do today is we're going to replace the steering shaft on the Jimmy. Now, the Jeep XJ shaft has U-joints, and the regular GM one has a rag joint right here. This is rubber. It's the steering box has this little thing bolted on it that the bolts go through, bolt to the rubber, and then the shaft bolts to the rubber. So the connection to the gearbox is through this rubber rag joint. All we have to do is we unbolt it here, and we unbolt it here, and I think to be able to get it apart, we also have to unbolt the rag joint. Alright, so we've got this one right here is a 11 millimeter 12 point socket. That'll be a 12 point. So we'll go ahead, we'll get that one off, and then we'll undo that one up there, which looks like a 9/16. So we've got that bolt out. It actually turned out to be a 15 millimeter, and we're doing the bolts on the rag joint right now. They're 9/16. So once we get that off, we can get this part of the shaft out, and then we'll get this little piece off the steering gearbox. Grab the wrong one. Screwdriver, see if we can pry this thing apart. So here's the deal. I've pried on it, I've done all kinds of stuff. I could not get enough slack. The only way I can see to do it is either unbolt the steering column and slide it back, or unbolt the steering gearbox, slide it forward. Since I took this bolt out, beat on this joint and shoved it back up in the steering column, but it will not go anymore. It must have hit a stop or something, or it bottomed out or something, because it will not go anymore. And actually, when I was beating on it, started bending that joint. So we're going to take the easy route, and I am not going to reuse this rag joint, so there's no use in keeping it. So if I just take it and I cut one of these little stud things off, then I can just slide this right out. So that's what we're going to do. So we've got the Sawzall. I don't know if I can get this to where I can see it. I don't know if it'll stay there, but we'll see. One bolt that doesn't want to slide out. There. It is out. I may have to open this a little wider. I can get this in there and widen it. Yep. Be real gentle with this end. You don't want to end up with a leak. Messed up this seal. There we go. Oh, there's the rag joint. As you can see, it's got rubber. So anyway, these bolt holes are a little, they fit fairly tight. Anyway, now since I drove that part on, I'm probably going to have to drive it back off or pry it off or something. I need to tape that or something, because evidently my security lock thing's not working too good. I think it was about right there. I want to keep it where my steering wheel's centered, so I'll line it back up just to make sure, and I'll put a piece of tape or something locking the steering wheel in place. So the one mod that has to be done to this, I'll show you. It fits on there just fine, except you can see need just a little bit of grinding on the steering column so that bolt will go in. Slipped it up on there, the bolt won't go in. So I can take air grinder and just put a little notch on the bottom side, or it's the top side, either way I do it. I'll just do it on the bottom side, so that bolt will have a place to slide in. Got that in, got it ground, got the bolt started, so all we got to do now is slide the other shaft in and put it on the gearbox. Well, it's installed. Bolts are tight.